you ever speak to me like that again, you better be wearing a cup.
Baby steps.
One break, I'm in
Okay, friends, let's everybody take your positions, please. Here we go. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, rolling. Dave!
And
Dave!
Unchained.
welcome to Dave and Dave Unchained, a Van Halen podcast. I'm Dave.
And I'm Dave.
And we are at episode 54, Dave, and knocking on your door. That's right. Dave's been home, holed up, and probably attacking himself. Give us the update. What's going on?
I actually went out last night.
Oh, really? Where did you go?
I ventured forth to see a local band that was having an outdoor concert.
Oh, what kind of music?
So, blues rock.
Oh,
Very good.
Dave's a big
Very
fan
good.
of the blues.
Yes, it turned out I'd actually seen them before a few months ago. So,
Wow.
it was
Wow.
interesting. And in a few weeks, I'm going to try and venture to see a Van Halen cover band.
That's
so we'll
right.
see how that goes.
That's right. I think I might have tipped you off on that.
You did tip me off on that, and some people I saw last night actually had seen them the week before and gave them 2 thumbs up.
Nice. Nice. That's fantastic. What is the name of the band?
It's very original. It's Halen.
They're just going with half of it. Halen, there you go.
That's right. That's right.
Okay, I
Just
thought
go with Halen.
They're not called CT Halen, right? They're not like Connecticut Halen or something like. I thought.
I think that's their Facebook name.
Oh, their Facebook name.
But
Okay,
I
gotcha.
think the band's name is just Halen.
Okay, cool. Well, that sounds like
Yeah.
it's fun. And,
I'll let you know.
Yeah, please let us know. Give us a report. And we are off into Van Halen news.
Van Halen.
Well, it is Sammy Hagar who is dominating the news. But before we get to that, I have a correction, Dave. So listen to this mistake I made on the last podcast, which I can't believe I did. I can't believe you didn't pick up. So when I was doing the news item about Greg Bissonet's drum set, I called him Matt Bissonet.
Oh.
Oh, my God.
Oh, man. And
Yeah.
neither of us picked up on that,
Can you
Wow.
believe that? First of all, Dave was
Wow.
probably sleeping, and then
I was thinking
you
that.
was thinking, right. And then for some reason, Matt came out, so my apologies. Of course, I know that Greg is the drummer and Matt is the bassist, and that was just a slip of the tongue, and what can I say? Once it turned 50 and we hit 2020 and we're in the pandemic, I'm losing my mind over here. So we'll just, let's write it off to old age, but that was just a slip of the tongue. We all do know it was Greg Bissonet's drum set from the Skyscraper tour. So anyway, just after that correction, I forgot the listener who pointed that out, but shout out to him for correcting me. Thank you. So as I said, Sammy Hagar is dominating the news. Oh my God. He literally is taking over the entire news. Almost. So as we all know, Al and Ed have been silent for the longest time. No surprise there. But Sammy, unfortunately, and the Circle had to cancel their 2020 tour officially. They said, we cannot wait for the day when we're safely on the other side of this, meaning the pandemic, and can hit the stage and celebrate with you again. Until then, stay safe, and we will do our best to continue to entertain you with our lockdown sessions, which have been off the charts, by the way, and that is going to be coming up in Van Halen news. But unfortunately, the tour is canceled. It is not postponed. It is canceled. But to be honest with you, they were already having problems because Whitesnake pulled out of the tour. So that was not a good sign to begin with because of David Coverdale's health issues. So they had to get a fill-in, and then the whole pandemic happened, and the whole thing collapsed like a deck of cards. So not a surprise, right, Dave?
No, not at all.
Absolutely.
So maybe next year they'll be able to regroup and get it right. And maybe they'll go out with Whitesnake next year when
Yeah.
David Lee Roth is, when David Coverdale is all healed up.
Perhaps Matt Bissonette can jump on drums. That's right. And so, in addition to this, oh my God, you know Sam, he's like a water faucet. Once you turn him on, it just doesn't stop. So, he did an interview with Rolling Stone. Interesting enough, Rolling Stone did 2 pieces on Sam. Very
Yeah,
interesting.
I caught that.
Very interesting.
Like,
So what they did was...
Is nobody else talking?
Yeah, no, I think what they... Yeah, exactly. It's funny. So Sam was talking about being in quarantine, and oh my God, they went into the most intricate details. He eats a small breakfast, he noodles with his guitar, he walks on the beach, he has a quick lunch, he takes a nap, he goes in the jacuzzi, he's having a cocktail hour. He says he doesn't care about the pandemic. He insists on hugging his kids. Talking about cooking, and oh my God, he went into a detailed description about how to make the best chicken, which we was taught by Mario Batali, the best roasted chicken. Oh my God, couldn't believe it. Very domestic, but it was interesting. And then, he went on and he talked about the whole COVID thing. He got a little, I don't want to say political, but his thoughts on the whole COVID thing. He says, this shutdown of the economy is going to make that escalate 10 times, and then we're all going to be sick and you can't walk down the street. I would rather see everyone go back to work. If some of us have to sacrifice on that, okay. I will die for my children and my grandchildren to have a life anywhere close to the life that I had in this wonderful country and freedom. That's just the way I feel about it. So he got like a little on his soapbox there, and that was sort of interesting. But then they did a whole separate article on Van Halen. And of course, let me say it. You've said it, Dave. I've said it. Everybody has said it. Look, no one wants to talk about Van Halen, right? Wolf's not talking. Ed's not talking. Al's not talking. Mike doesn't talk unless Sammy gives him the high sign. Dave's not talking. So you know what? Sam steps up to the mic and he'll say anything. So Sam really went off. Not in a negative way, but he said, he's got to make the headlines. And he knows how to do it. I'll give him credit. He knows how to do it. He says, until Ed or Alex Van Halen die, they're not finished. Those are two great musicians that can friggin' do as good as most people at half-mast. As a drummer and as a guitarist and creative person, Eddie, I can't see them ever being finished. I wish they were more active, but I think Van Halen will never be finished. Then he talks about, whether they're going to go out. Who would they go out with, Dave or Sammy? He says if they want to get it together, they have to call Dave or they have to call Sammy. They can go out with Wolfie as a trio, but that's not the legacy of Van Halen. I think they know that. I'm not predicting what's going to happen, but I would tell you, if there's concerts next year, Van Halen will probably be on tour next year, which I thought was a bold statement. Now, I'll tell you what he did say. In that quote that I just read, he noted the Wolfie trio.
Right.
What does that tell you? That means that was a thing.
It was a thing.
Yes.
Right, exactly.
Because why would Sammy bring that up? He's not some fan like you or I that is just pontificating. He obviously got word that was happening. That justifies it right there. Now, obviously, they're not going out because, A, pandemic, B, we don't know what kind of condition Ed is in, right? But that was a plan. And that goes back to Mitch LaFon. When Mitch LaFon kind of dropped that, I think it was a tweet that he left out. He says, Van Halen's going to go out, but it's not going to be what you expected. Okay, on to another comment in talking about Eddie's health. Okay, he said that, obviously we all know everybody, it's all shrouded in mystery what's going on with Eddie. He says, Eddie had a lot of health issues, but I heard he got it together. I pray for the guy. I love the guy. Now, folks, when you are Sammy Hagar, Sammy hasn't spoken to Ed since 2004. That doesn't mean shit. What Sammy does talk to is everybody in the circle. What does that mean? Techs, guitar guys, they all knew each other very closely, and I'm sure Sammy is in touch with people that Ed is in touch with. That tells you Ed is better, because he says it here. And Sammy wouldn't say that if he didn't know that. There's another justification right then and there. Well, what do you think about that? You think so?
I think there's something to it. But I also think as time goes on, Sam has less and less people that are in the Van Halen circle.
No, sure.
Yeah, I think he knows something, but I don't know. We'll see. Sam likes to talk a lot. He's like, hope springs eternal. And, so I don't know. I really think that he thinks he'll be on stage with the band again in
really
some
does.
capacity.
Oh, wait till he drops bombs over here. Then he says, he's talking about whether he'll go out with Dave. If Dave wants to come out together, we can do that. But of course he wouldn't want to do that, so I wouldn't care less if I ever even saw the guy. The truth of the matter is, for the fans and just for me to be part of that, I want to walk out there every night and do the best of Van Hagar and have him do the best of that era. That's a good tour as anyone ever would do on the planet. It's for the Van Halen fans, and I love making people happy, and it would make me happy. So what I think he's saying, I love how he calls the band Van Hagar. I think that's hysterical. I mean, it's funny that we say it's okay because we're fans. That's how he labeled, but he's in the fucking band. So like,
well, I also likes how he refers to himself in the third person.
Oh yeah,
calls himself Sammy.
George is getting set.
Right, exactly.
So that's for sure. And so he keeps pushing this Sam and Dave tour. Now, last episode, right? We told you what he went through on tour with Dave. We told you what he went through on tour with Eddie. We've gone through that on the last 2004 tour, right? Holy cow. For this guy to want to do this again, he's got to want it bad, right?
Oh, yeah, totally.
I mean, to go back out with these guys?
Yeah.
It's all...
Of course he does.
Yeah.
It's because he hears the clock ticking. It's the last hurrah.
Absolutely. He hears it ticking. It's the last hurrah. So then he says here, in terms of a Van Halen reunion, I foresee it happening. I'm not trying to plant a seed like I know something is happening. I know nothing. I just know what I know in my heart and my head, which is that it has to happen. Whether it's Sam and Dave or not. I don't know that either. But I know that Eddie and I are not done. If enough water goes under the bridge before we die, it'll happen. It has to. God is going to slap both of us around if he has to. This guy's unreal. I mean, he's getting biblical,
He is.
Dave.
He just keeps pushing.
He just
and
keeps
Ed just
pushing.
keeps ignoring.
Well, you know what? I'll tell you what I think. I think that Irving is in bed with Sam. I think Irving is behind this too, because
Oh,
think about the fucking payday Irving would make.
Sure.
Irving already
$1
made a payday doing the Sam reunion. Irving already made a payday doing the Sam and Dave tour. Irving already made a payday on the multiple reunions with Dave. What would be a bigger payday than putting Sam and Dave on tour together with the original Van Halen? Come on. You don't tell me, I guarantee you, he's had lunches with Sam about this.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
But Ed is not going to do a full-blown tour, I don't think. I think Ed is done with touring.
No, I don't think he's going to do that. But, well, look, we don't even know what condition the guy's in. So anyway, Sam's tour is canceled. Sam's talking to Rolling Stone. What else is fucking Sam doing? Well, Sam's on Sam's rock and roll road trip. Wow. And who does he have on? Nuno and Gary from Extreme. So Gary Cherone, the third lead singer of Van Halen, Nuno Bettencourt, the guitarist for Extreme. Both Gary and Nuno are in Extreme. They're back together, and they've been back together for a while. They have a new album coming out. Haven't released a date, haven't released a title, but they are done with it. They're in the mixing, mastering stages. So it is coming, folks. But interesting enough, you see Gary and Sam there. Gary talked to Sam a little bit. Gary is so guarded. He just is guarded about anything with Van Halen. He has a limited amount of things that he talks about, and he repeats them over and over again. He was in that band, if you actually do the timing, for 3 years, even though he did, a 6-month tour and the album, Van Halen 3, right?
Right.
He was in the band for 3 years, even though that's all that came out of that. But it was 3 years, and he lived in Eddie's property, for Christ's sake. Gary called Extreme the bastard child of Queen, Zeppelin, Van Halen, and the Beatles. And then he said, Sammy he was kind of edging him a little bit to talk about, what did you experience? And Sammy was going into this whole rant about how obstinate Ed was. And here's a clip of it right here.
When I left Van Halen, Eddie was he was just coming into, hey man, I want to take over my own band. It'd be like, okay, let's paint the album white. I'd say, okay, let's paint it white. I'd say, no, I want it black now. I'd say, okay, black's cool. And they'd say, no, I want it white then. Well, look, I'll get back to you and tell you what color I want it when I'm ready.